Welcome back to Painted Kids. This is Jessica, and today we're learning to draw Thanos from Avengers. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know, with you guys supporting us and following us, it allows us to continue to do what we do, and that's make awesome art videos for you. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is Thanos' head, and his jaw is kind of a square jaw, so that's what we're going to make. We're going to make two diagonal lines. They're not really a sharp diagonal, they're very soft diagonal. And then his chin is just going to come straight across like this. And there's going to be a little curve in it, but it's not going to be a big curve or a perfectly straight line. Just a little give to it. Now we're going to go over to the top of Thanos' head here, and we're going to just come up and around and over and connect it to the bottom. At this point, he kind of looks like a cupcake. And make any adjustments that you need. If you're using a pencil, feel free to erase and make the needed adjustments that you need to make your Thanos look good. Alright, now that we're done with Thanos' head, the next thing we're going to do is his body. So I'm going to come down towards the bottom, and I'm just going to come in just a little bit on his chin to the left here. And I'm going to come straight down, and I'm going to do almost a backwards J hook. So I'm going to come down real long and then hook it in like so. Okay, now that we're done with our torso and our first leg, we're going to come over to the side, and we're going to start right at the very corner of his jaw there, and we're going to come down and around, and this is going to make his arm and his hand. And we're actually going to make a line that shows him kind of clenching his fist. So we're just going to curve that in a little bit, almost like just a little dome kind of that stops when you reach his torso. And then a little curve to show where his golden gauntlets are. So now we're going to go to the other side, and on his right side we're actually going to be making it so he's holding up his fist, so that way you can really see his infinity stones. So we're going to go to the other side, and just like how we did before, we're going to have our line, but we're going to just be making it super short. So it's just going to be just like this. It's super short. Nothing crazy. And at the end of this line here, we're going to start our curved rectangle, and this is going to be his fist, just like this. And we're going to have that line that is his torso be in the center of that, as you can see. And then we're just going to, right off the corner of his jaw there, we're going to do a little curve to show where his shoulder is, that even though his fist is up, he still has a shoulder. And then we're just going to do a curved line on the side that shows where his thumb is, just so that people get an idea of like which direction his fist is actually turned. Now we're going to come out the bottom, and we're going to continue and finish off and make our hook shape or our J, and then we're just going to do a straight line and connect our legs there. And there is his torso and legs. So what we're going to do next is creating his outfit and his armor, and I just went ahead and took a bunch of different of his costume designs and just kind of molded them into my favorite parts. So if it's not exactly like a specific Thanos that you're thinking of, that's okay. And if you want to design your own armor, feel free. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to be making a V right under his jaw here. So just a V. Then I'm going to do another diagonal line just off of this one, but instead of bringing it to a point, I'm going to stop. I'm going to do that to the other side, and it actually disappears behind his fist, so we don't have to do it that long. And then instead of doing a point, I'm just going to go straight across and go down and down to make my square, or kind of a rectangle shape. And instead of making a straight line to do the bottom, I'm going to make a nice long line to close that bottom, and then I'm going to follow along right underneath that, and that makes his belt. And there you go. And his shirt has little line details, so I'm going to go 1, 2, and that line goes behind his fist, and then 1, 2, and that's his shirt. Now, even though that's all going to be the same color, it just adds the detail that would be in his in one of his shirts that he wears. And then just curved lines right around his legs to show him wearing some boots. And there is our torso. So now I'm going to jump up, and we're going to start on his helmet. And just like with our shirt, we're going to be working with some diagonal lines here. So I'm going to start at one end and right at the top of our dome. So I'm going to do a diagonal line here, and I'm going to do it on the other side. And I'm not connecting them. I'm leaving it open just like we did on his shirt. I'm going to follow along just underneath that. It's the same line. And now I'm going to do a straight line, connect, other side, straight line, connect, and then bottom and top. And there is our little square. And I'm going to go right off the top of the corner of the square, and I'm going to curve up and out a little bit. It's not a big curve, but it is a slight curve. So now we're going to be doing the part of his helmet that kind of comes around his face here. So I'm going to come off the edge just a little bit, not going right out of the corner. And I'm just going to slant, and I'm going to make a triangle and then slant back. There we go, just like that. On the other side, we do the same thing. But we don't want to start in the corner. We want to start a little farther out. Okay, now we're going to do a couple little details on the side of his head. And it's just a little, it's not really a half circle because it's a little smaller than a half circle, but it's a little detail that are on some of his helmet designs. I think that's probably where his ears sit, but we're not actually making ears, so that's actually a part of his helmet. So now we're going to do his eyes, and with the highlights, we're going to have them on both on the left side of the eye, so they're not going to be perfectly centered. They're going to be kind of off a little bit. So I like to do a half circle, and then I'm going to do a curve, and then I'm going to curve up. So instead of doing a full circle and then a large oval like we have done in the past, we're going to do a half circle and then curves on the sides and then a curve up. And this is going to give him a more menacing look. And we want our highlight, again, not to be in the very center of his eyes. We want it to be shifted to the right or to the left. It doesn't matter which direction, but they both just need to be on one side or the other. So it's just like this. And if you want to give him normal eyes, you can. You want to give him square eyes or squinty eyes, you can. It's up to you. It is your Thanos. So if there's a specific eye design that you like, then go for it. So now we're going to do his mouth. And his mouth is really easy. So we're just going to make a straight line just under that other eye. And then it's going to go up, around, and down, and then back, and that's going to be a straight line there. And we're going to keep that mouth like right in between his eyes. If they overlap a little bit under his eyes, that's fine, but that's kind of gives us our guide of where his mouth needs to stop. And then we're going to do his infamous little chin wrinkles. So I'm just going to do a straight line off the edge of the mouth there, and then 4 lines under his chin. And then I'm just going to make some clench lines so you can see that he's kind of gritting his teeth. So just a little line on one side and a little line on the other. And then I'm going to put some lines under his eyes to really get across that, he's really squinting his eyes. And then write a curve right at the end of the mouth to show that his cheek is being pushed up. So last but not least, we're going to be doing the Infinity Stones. Now, I know that Thanos technically has 6 Infinity Stones, but because of his hand, I like to think that the green one is kind of tucked behind. So we're just going to do the 4 on top and then the big one in the center of his fist. And you can color whichever Infinity Stones are your favorite. It doesn't have to match exactly what the Thanos in the movie has. But if you want to follow along with what the theme of the movie, there's purple, blue, red, and orange that you can see. And the green one is on the thumb, and then the yellow is on the big hand there. But if you want to squeeze the green one in on the side of the big one, you're more than welcome to. I just like this design better. So for the rest of his outfit, I'm going to be doing gold and a navy blue, and I'm also going to be making his pants kind of a gray and his boots a gold color. And of course, his skin is going to be purple. So if you guys like this video, then go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more fun videos like this, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to show off any of your beautiful creations, go ahead to any of our social media platforms. The link will be in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.